Thank you for tuning in today. Our mission is to equip and empower you to dig in and soar higher, doing the things that you love. So get ready to live life fully. Hello everyone, it's your girl Joy, your passionate gold miner, and welcome to another episode of Living. And in a few moments, I'm going to be talking to Wanda Thomas. Wanda just recently released her book, When Girls Cry. And I'm excited to talk to her. Also, this new series that we're starting is called There's Glory in Your Story. And we will feature authors, probably maybe every couple of months, we will talk to an author. Now, you can be published, self-published. We would like to hear your story. As long as you've put it in a book, come on, we'd love to talk to you, because you just never know who you are helping. We all have a story. We all have a testimony. You know, I always say God made us on purpose for a purpose. So come on. We would love to talk to you, to hear your story, and to purchase your book and to promote your book. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy my conversation with Wanda. Hello, Wanda.
Hello.
So nice to see you. You're looking beautiful.
You are too. Thanks a lot for having me, Joy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. I couldn't help but have you on after I saw that beautiful book that you wrote. Can you just briefly tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am the wife of Danny A. Thomas, the original keyboardist for Confunction. And we met while I was doing ministry and he was the minister of music. I have 4 sons and 9 grandchildren. I'm really almost full time. When the kids go, the grandkids come. So we're not empty nesters yet. But I retired from American National Insurance Company, American General Insurance Company. I retired from Wells Fargo Bank. I also own my own child care center, and just working in ministry with women in transition. And we also work at the prison, women's prison. So I love working with people that have hurt and pain, because I've had a lot of it and I understand. But my whole thing is you can be healed. You don't have to walk in hurt, pain, sorrow, sadness, all of that. So my objective is to see everybody heal.
So I'm starting this new series entitled There's Glory in Your Story. And
that sounds good. Oh,
yes.
wow.
And
Yeah.
there is definitely glory in your story. And so can you tell me, what was the inspiration for the story When Girls Cry?
Well, in doing ministry, I found that so many have had the same experience that I had, and you verbalize it and you talk to them. But I think to have something in their hands that they can really read and let it sink in and relate to their story, that motivated me. I really, really wanted to reach out to others. And I was sitting in church one Sunday, and our pastor started talking about purpose. And he said, we have people in this congregation that have a lot of purpose inside of them. And one, I think, are people that have stories they need to tell, and they need to write their books. And actually, this has been like a 10-year process. It's been that long, me trying to kind of put this out. It takes a lot of digging within yourself and wanting to know you're ready to be transparent.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what were some key challenges you faced with writing this book, since it took 10 years?
Making up my mind to really be transparent. I don't believe in lying and projecting something that's not true. And I thought about the effect it might have on others, but it's my story and I need to tell it. And so whatever it does for anybody else, I'm grateful if it really does help. So yeah, it was a struggle to really want to be transparent. And even in writing the book, there was some parts of it where I had to just stop, put the book down, cry, and relive it over again, knowing that I really made it through this. Wow.
Yeah, there are quite a few takeaways. I just got the book today, and as you can see, look, I have all my little highlights and my little tabs here. First of all, I like your writing style,
Oh,
and
really?
I love your recommendations for parents.
Mm-hmm.
For example, you have one in here where you say, parents consider your children's feelings when it comes to how the other children perceive them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many little nuggets that you put. You can almost do like a study guide. You
I'm
have
thinking of that.
yeah, another one, another really big one on page 33 to when you say I yearned for affection. And I know how it feels to want affection, to
Yeah.
hear those three words,
I
I
love you.
love you. Can you
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit?
Well, because I had a lot of lack in my life, that little girl is me sitting on the steps crying. And I just really want not only the young ladies, but I want the parents to know, children don't come with instructions like bicycles where you can just put them together,
Yeah.
they come, each child is different. You wonder sometimes, wow, this is my child. It's great. I love having this one. And then the other one, you're like, where did he come from? So I want parents to understand that there is individuality and we have to adjust sometimes to
Yeah,
understand
I love that. Because for me, I love being a grandparent now because for me, I feel like I'm getting a chance to
do
try
over.
again because I know I made a lot of mistakes.
Girl, please let me tell you, I made so many mistakes. I thought I was really being a good parent, because I could only do what I knew to do. And after my children became adults, man, I'm telling you, I messed up. I messed up. But messing up is not so bad when you admit, hey, I messed up. And it's not a problem, me apologizing to my children. I say, hey, I messed that one up. How about you take it from here?
I know. I was going to say that. I love on page 35 when you say it's okay to say you're wrong,
Uh-huh. Been
or
wrong.
I'm sorry, or
Mhm.
forgive me, because a lot of
Yeah,
parents, it's hard for them to admit that they're
it
wrong.
is. It wasn't easy for me. It wasn't easy for me. But one day, my son told me, he said, Mom, if you just acknowledge that you were wrong. And I'm like, okay, I acknowledge I was wrong. I messed up. I really messed up. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. It's all I can do. But I can't carry that as a weight on my shoulder for the
There
rest
you
of my
go.
life. I can't
Yeah.
carry that guilt. If I messed up, God forgive me, you forgive me. If you can't, then it's on you, not on me.
Yeah. So, like I said, I have so many little things in this book. Oh my goodness. Um, Yeah, I love that too. You tell parents children need to express themselves and be heard.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's so many
But
little.
but you know what, Joy? It's a way that you do it. When we grew up, I was just saying the other day, grandmama and mama and everybody else was could say whatever they wanted to say to us, right or wrong. We didn't dare come against it, and say, just be belligerent. Now these children think they should say and do anything. Yeah, you've got feelings, and I need you to really let me know how you feel, but you got to do it in a respectful way. Don't, it's going to create some problems.
Right. Right.
So I appreciate young people telling, and sharing their feelings, but we've got to teach them how to actually talk to us, because sometimes they go a little bit too far.
You
Just
think?
a little bit too far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love how
But
my daughter, you say something in the book about each child being different. And
yeah.
my daughter has four children, and she
Mhm.
does acknowledge that, all four of them are different.
Yeah. Yeah. They are. They really, really are. And you don't know which one is going to be. In working with juveniles, I found that a juvenile can come from a good family, as what we call a good family, as well as a broken family. So it has nothing really to do. The circumstances can be such that you look at it's not a good circumstance, but I have seen children really strive to do better because they did come out of a failed situation of, circumstances. And then I've seen children that have had everything, mom and dad in the house, and they get spoiled and they go bad. And I really like to think that there are no bad children, because I just love children.
Yeah.
I like to say it's bad parenting, not bad children, because we really have to seek, which I didn't do. Now I'm just going to tell you what I learned. We really have to seek to know what that child really needs
Yeah.
before we just throw them out in the water and say, this is just a bad child, I can't do anything with them. So it takes a lot of patience. In my older age, I'm not as patient as I used to be, but I had my children young, so I kind of grew up with them a little bit.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot.
Yeah.
By the time you get all the answers right, then they change the question. So you do what you can.
Yes. And so, yeah, it's really good because you tell parents to seek guidance. And that's another thing we don't do either. We don't get
No,
counseling ourselves. We didn't come with instructions either
no,
as
no.
parents. So we need counseling,
Hmm.
ourselves. And so I
Right.
love that you say, seek guidance and counseling as needed.
Yeah, because that's what I said to my son. That's one of my favorite quotes. Children don't come with instructions like bicycles. And he told me, he said, yeah, mom, you're right. You always say that. But you should have sought somebody that did know. There are books you could read and all that. But, a lot of our kids were messed up with Dr. Spock. I just really have to say it, when we sit them in the corner. They in the corner twiddling around and daydreaming and all. That's not punishment sometimes. But anyway,
Yeah.
my son said, yeah, you should have read some books, or you should have sought counsel. So I'm sharing that with the other parents. Seek guidance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the African way of teaching is that a child can absorb as much as you put into them. And that's the way I ran my center. The children that came into my center, it was not a babysitting job for me. It was a child development center. And I learned how to tap in to the things that caused them to learn. So every child that left my center, when they came in at 1 and 2, they were potty trained. They knew the alphabets, animals, numbers, colors, names, all of that, because I trained them. And the more that I put in, the more they can absorb. They're just like sponges.
They
They
are.
absorb it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They absorb it.
So, is there a little excerpt that you would like to read from the book?
I will. I
Okay.
will. I
There
will
are
read
so
from
many. I
this.
was like, oh my goodness, I don't know what
I
to
got
pick.
the hardback copy because, hardback says more to me than paperback. So I got a hardback copy so you can just pick it up and keep reading and reading and reading and it not tear up on you. But I like to read my introduction, the first paragraph, and I'm
Oh,
going to stop there because after that you need to read it yourself. But in the summer of 1953, I was 5 years old, sitting on the front steps of 205 Elliott Street in Texarkana, Texas. That's me sitting at 205 Elliott Street. I was crying because my biological father, mother, and I were not living in the same household. I couldn't understand why I wasn't with my biological father and mother like the other children in our community. You know, we are observant. We, as babies, we do know.
Yeah.
I longed to live in the same house and be with my biological father and mother. Oh, how my heart ached to be with both of them and to have a sense of normality. Looking back, the family structure was unusually different for me in comparison to the others that I looked around and saw. It was somewhat the same for my best friend, Willie Earl Tillman. We called him Sonny. But Sonny's circumstances were slightly different from mine. He lived with his grandfather and his grandmother. I didn't even live with a blood relative. And you got to read to see what that was all about. But you know, Sonny did have his natural grandmother and grandfather. I didn't. I was in a totally strange home. And when you read what I said about the early childhood development, you'll see how that can be affecting children's lives and the outcomes. But one thing I want to say in this book, even though I was hurt and I went through a lot of things, I want to say you can get through it. You must get through it.
That's what
You got to.
Yes.
You cannot stay there in the hurt and pain the rest of your life. You're crippling yourself. You're only crippling yourself because things happen in life. We can't get away from experiencing hurt. Man is born of a woman of a few days, and that is full of sorrow. That's Bible. Right. So we've got to realize, and this is what I really like to say, if I got through it, you expect a person. He will help you thing that you need to get through.
Yeah. Yeah. This is like a book of hope. And that's one of the things I was going to say. Looking at you now and the woman that you have become and what you went through. I mean, look at you now. You have become such an awesome woman of God.
I look at people, you know, and I tell my story, or parts of it, because this is the beginning. This is the first book of 5 books to come. It's going to be a series. And this just tells the first very beginning of my life. But it goes on. And the hurt and the pain and the things done, they get worse as the time go on, as you begin to read. Like I said, this is the beginning. But I want people to know, women especially. You know, let me share this with you, Joy. I used to not like women because I had been hurt by women so much until I said, I'm not going to be bothered with them. I'm going to keep men as my friends, and I don't like women at all. When I look at you, I see wonder. When Joy look at Wanda, you see joy. And so God said, why are you going to hate yourself? Because every woman is made in my image with the same characteristics, the same whatever. And so why are you going to hate what I created?
That's right.
And I set out to endeavor, even with the pain and the hurt that I've had with women, I set out to establish a women's ministry to show that women can work together. Women can get along. Women do have disagreements, but there is a way you solve the disagreements. We can agree to disagree. I don't have to agree with everything you say.
That's correct.
But I have to learn how to get past it and get through it. And what I learned, I'm not responsible for what you do to me, Joy. I'm only responsible for my reactions and what I do to you. So I can't make you be me. I can't make you do anything. I can't control you. I can't hardly control my own self, you know? So I learned to really, really love women and found out that a lot of things that we do is because of other circumstances and other situations that created that.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too. Yeah, I was, as I was reading the little bit I've read, a lot of times you don't know what that person has been through.
Right.
And so,
Right.
we're only thinking about ourselves at the time. And so one of the things that I've learned to do is to be more mindful, be more in the moment, and stop and go, okay, wait a minute,
Yeah.
especially if it's someone you're getting to know, someone new. We
Yeah.
all been through, and we're all going to continue to face
Yes,
challenges
we
in our
will.
lives.
Yes, we will.
But you know what? Women have been through a lot. And just think
Yeah.
about, what we've been through, but just think
Yeah.
about the women who raised us,
Mm-hmm.
what they had went through. I'm not
Yeah.
making excuses for them,
No.
but but we have to kind of stop and go, oh my goodness. And so I'm
Yeah.
just so thankful that you got through all the trials that you did
Mm.
go
Mm.
through. And
Mm-hmm.
then like I said, look at you now. And then forgiveness. That's a big one.
That's the ministry I'm in.
Oh,
I teach the forgiveness ministry, and I ended up with about 32 women working in the ministry. And we worked so well together, reaching out to other women that were hurting and in pain, women in homeless shelters, women in prison. I really enjoy working with the women in transition because we're all transitioning at some point or another,
yeah.
and we're facing the challenges that are caused by us being, in that position of having to transition. But one thing that's really hard for a lot of people is just to change.
Change is so hard. Because as a little girl, you grow up, you want to get your prince.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
get married, get your house and your little picket fence.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
have children.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
All of
don't
that.
want, yeah, you want that to stay the same. So that's one thing, that's hard. And then what happens if that doesn't work out? Now
Oh,
you're
you
going
mad at the
through,
world.
yeah, divorce, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and then,
Yeah.
your parents are aging. And
Mm-hmm.
so, not to mention our bodies.
Oh God.
Oh my goodness. Our
We
bodies,
have some serious bodies, I'm telling you.
our
But I
bodies
wouldn't
are
trade it.
changing. Yeah, yeah.
I
And you're
wouldn't
like,
trade it.
oh my
I wouldn't
goodness.
trade it. I'm happy being a woman. I really am. I am so happy being a woman. Yes, yes.
You know
I've
what
done.
I want to say too? It's
Mm-hmm.
like I want to tell everyone they should write a book like this. And the reason why I'm saying it, at first when I start reading it, I was like, "Ooh, this is much." She's giving names and and everything.
Yeah.
At first I was like, because I wasn't expecting that, right? But on one hand, just think about this, Wanda. If we all, as women, wrote this book early on, and
Mm-hmm.
look, you can just say to your friends, to your fiance, your
Mm-hmm.
boyfriend, say, here, read this book. Because I
Yeah.
learned so much just by reading the book. Now I feel like, oh, okay, now I know why Wanda's like that. And you know what I mean? Now I know why she may respond like that. So we
Mm-hmm.
all write our book. We have a book club. And
Yeah.
we come, yes, we have a meeting of the minds because it
Yeah.
does help you understand. I
Mm-hmm.
understand a lot just from what I've read so far, and I'm thinking back from when I met you. I'm like, oh, okay, especially a lot of times you go, I'm old school. I'm old school.
I am old school. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And not ashamed to say it.
no, you're not.
Because you know what I have learned now in my older age, I'm always saying, Mama said, said, Mama said, I'm going back. And so I was saying that so much on my job to one of the ladies say, let's do a book about what Mama said.
Ooh,
And all of us had all these little things, that Mama said. And at the time, it didn't make sense, but now it makes a lot of sense what Mama said. Mama knew what she was talking about. Mama knew what she was talking about. Like
it's
we
so
know
funny
what we.
because I'm doing notes. I haven't decided what I'm gonna call my book yet, but there's one little area, or I don't know if it's gonna be the chapter or what, but it's conversations with my mother because she was one
Yeah,
who taught me. I
yeah,
have so many good lessons.
yeah,
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 from my mother.
yeah, yeah. And it's amazing because when we had the mothers and the grandparents in the house, they gave us so many good nuggets.
Oh, yeah.
That we can recall, because some things you don't remember until you get in those situations.
Yes.
And when you get in the situation, oh, mama said this, or this is what I should do, or this is how I should do. And it's really interesting how the younger people, they don't think we know, but girl, we've been there. Drugs is not new. Sex is not new. All this stuff, it's not new. We've been there. Yeah. And sometimes we can look at you and tell what's going on in your head.
Yeah.
Not even being able to reach your mind. 'Cause we've been there. We have been there. Oh, and we don't get as old as we are, Joy, from being stupid.
That's right. That's
you know, right. We appreciated one another. We respected each other, and it made life much better. Now, I think because of social media, people aren't communicating anymore, really. They will text you, but they won't call you. Yeah. They'll answer the text, but they won't return your call. And you lose those communication skills, because when you actually talk to people, you can see their reaction and their response. One day I was talking to my son, and I was just screaming and yelling, and I saw him actually shiver. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what I'm doing. So these are the things that you miss when you are texting. You're not really getting the response that you should get to even learn how to communicate with that person, because you're not seeing the response. Yeah.
Yeah. They young kids, they figure it out. They crack me up when they yelling, they do all caps, and then they have all these little sayings, and I'm like, what does that mean? Oh, yeah. And BK. I was like, oh, okay. I had to learn them all. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
My husband and I, we find one every day. He's like, what does this mean?
Okay. I'm serious. And you know, Joy, the time I'm having with the social media.
Oh, yes. You know what? I am embracing it. I just had to, I felt like you at one point, but now look, I have a lot of friends. They're like, I don't want to get on that Zoom. I'm like, look, we getting on that Zoom. We're going to have our coffee. We're going to drink our tea, and we're going to chat and talk, because guess what? I'm not coming over. So you're going to get on that Zoom.
I do understand. I feel the same way now. But it took me a while. It really.
And I'm so happy that when I asked you about talking to you, I said, oh boy, she's going to not want to get on that Zoom.
No. But you drawing it out of me. Thank you. You're helping me. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a couple of friends that said, I am stretching them. And I said, okay. And so I, you know that song Waymaker, even when I don't see it,
I love it.
He's working. And so that's what I say. Even when I don't see it, God is working. He's a Waymaker.
Yeah.
Because people are telling me that I've been stretching them lately, and I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. I don't get the credit.
You stretched me.
Another thing you and I have in common, we're birthday twins.
Yes. I love it. I love it. And I'm intending to enjoy my birthday. I enjoy every year. I am so excited and thankful. And for the month of March, I try not to let nothing negative intervene with my life, because I've learned that life is so short. You wake up one day and it's almost gone. So you better enjoy every moment. Every day that God give you, you need to enjoy it. Yeah, stuff happens. Stuff will always happen. But it's your attitude toward it. I never gave up on love, even though I felt deeply unloved. Oh, I felt like nobody loved me, nobody cared, You'll see a lot of stuff in the book that said that, but because they didn't love me didn't mean I stopped loving them. You can't react negatively to every negative things that happen to you because it just snowballs. It just keeps getting worse, 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 worse. At some point, you got to say, hey, I got to put a stop to this. Let me move on in a positive direction and just start looking for positive things. If you wake up and say, oh my goodness, my back hurts, it's going to be hurting all day. The longer the day goes, the worse that back is going to hurt. And pretty soon you'll be laid up somewhere with your feet up, saying my back hurts too much to move. But if you say, okay, I got a pain, but I can't let that pain stop me, you will keep moving. And after a while, you forget you even had the pain.
Come on, Wanda, preach. Come on. I was just
That's
talking
from
to yes, I was
experience,
just talking
girl.
to a health and life coach. And that's
Yeah,
one of the things she talks about. We're talking about mindset. Yeah.
yeah,
Emotion.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You can sit
yeah.
there. And like I always go back to my daughter on episode 14,
Mhm.
where just because you did something that day that, maybe wasn't all that good or you made some
Yeah,
mistakes, you know what?
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
waddle in it. Reflect
Okay.
and move on.
Yeah.
Move
And
on.
and another thing, here go mama again. Mama said,
What she say, girl?
misery loves company, girl. I'm miserable, so I'm gonna make everybody around me miserable. I'm just gonna poke at you and pick at you and mess with you until you feel the same way I do. But I have made up in my mind, girl, this is what I say. I can watch you bounce off of the walls all day long. I do not have to participate.
Yeah, you have to be careful because hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, they hurt folks. And some unintentional, but a lot of it is intentional because I want you to feel what I feel.
Yeah,
But I have to be you to feel what you feel.
that's
I
right.
can't feel, I don't know. Really,
Right.
I can tell maybe, uh, that she's feeling like that. But to really, really know, I'd have to be inside your skin and inside your body. So I have had some things happen to me that I just dusted myself off and just kept going. Sometimes I've cried,
Oh yeah.
but if Jesus got up out the grave in 3 days, I need to get up out of my depression and oppression in 3 days. I'm not going to lay here and get all in. No,
Okay, you
can't do
finna
that.
make me start running around the room.
I can't
Make
do
me
it. Life
start
is
praise dance.
precious. While I'm sitting here moaning and moping and
Ah,
groaning over all this stuff, life is moving on. Time
okay.
is moving on. So you're wasting your time, you're wasting your energy. If it's happened, you can't change it anyway. I had to realize that. I can't change what's already happened. It's
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
So why don't, if I can fix it, that's another motto I have. If I can fix it, I'll fix it. If
There
I
you go.
can't fix it, I made up in my mind, I'm gonna let it go.
That's right. Ooh,
Much
let
as it
go,
hurts
let
me,
God. Come on.
let it go.
Let it go. That's
Let it
so good.
go. Let it go.
Praise God.
Girl, yes, yes, yes.
I
And
love it.
another thing you said that what motivated me was, first of all, I love God. I really love God because I give him the credit for bringing me through all of this. The people that stood with me, yes, I appreciate every one of them. My husband, all of them, I appreciate them. But I had a deeper sense of God and learning who he was and who he really is. And because I love God, I love his people because I found out that he loves his creation more than anything. It does not matter where you are, your circumstances, what you've been through, what you're going through, what type of issues you have. We call them issues that you have. God loves you. And if I love God, I've got to love his people.
Yes.
I don't
Thank
have to like anything you do. I
you. Right.
really
That's
don't.
right. Thank you,
I
sis.
don't have to like anything you do.
You know what I want to tell
I'm
you?
gonna keep
Thank you.
loving you.
Thank you so much for being so open minded
Yeah.
to this,
Mhm.
writing your story, telling your story. I tell a lot of the ladies that I coach, there's glory in your story.
It
And so
is.
you just never know who you are helping
No,
when you
no.
tell your story.
And
And
you know
so,
what else, Joy? Everybody has a story.
yes, Everybody has one.
Are you willing to tell it though?
Yeah. So that brings me to this question. What advice would you give a new writer, someone that's just starting out?
Hmm. Uh, First of all, I would say if you can just get in a quiet place, first of all, and start meditating about what it is you really want to write about, uh, what you really want to say, what you want to project or teach, or what you really want to share. Meditate. And then start writing notes from what you hear inside of yourself. And then just start taking time out, set time out in your schedule to just actually start to write. And you write like you're writing for the garbage can.
Ooh.
So you just write it all. Good, bad, wrong spelling, bad English, all of that. Just write as if you know it's probably going to be thrown out because it is going to be edited. That's the good that we have. We can edit what is written and we can always correct it. But just take some time out in your schedule to set aside, to meditate and write. And before you know it, you'll have your book done.
You will be
It's just getting
surprised. Yeah.
started.
Yeah. I love to write. I've been writing since second grade. And so I'm always jotting down stuff. I have so many journals, I
Yeah,
keep a
yeah,
journal
yeah,
and
yeah,
everything. And that makes it easier too to write a book like you've written, where
yeah.
you're,
Journal.
yeah,
Journaling is
to
good.
journal. You'll be
You too.
surprised.
Yeah,
You could show someone your journal, and to me, that's a treasure. I would
it
be like,
is.
oh my goodness.
Hmm. Well, we used to call them diaries. We didn't want anybody to read the diary.
I know. That's what your book reminds me of. I'm like, oh my goodness.
We used to lock these things up.
This is a page turner.
And like I say, this
Look,
is the
look,
first.
look. You see all my. I got all my little tabs, and look, I'm a highlighting person, so I've
I
been
do too.
highlighting on every page.
I'm glad you got it because I was wondering. I had wanted to call you to see if you got the book before our interview, and I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you.
Yeah, I wish I had, like I said, I wish I'd had it sooner, but I just got it today, and I done did all this just today. I read
Wow.
home.
Oh
Yes,
wow.
yes,
Wow.
yep. Because I,
Well,
I, I love it. I love when people tell their story. Most people know that about me, so that's the thing. I'm always telling people there's glory in your story, and then
yeah.
it's not so much that you're complaining. You're also giving, you're teaching. You're
Mm,
teaching. And so
mm,
that's what I like too. And
mm.
then to see you now. And so I think it's good. I think it's good for people to get it and read it, but I like that we're talking. And then people
Yeah.
can put a face and they can kind of get your personality, because if you just
Mhm.
pick it up and start reading it, I mean, you're going in on the first chapter. I'm like, okay, who is this? So it's kind of
Girl.
good to see, okay, no, this person is not, she's not like that serious.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
laughs, she's a good person. But it's just your story is what you went through.
It's my story. And like I said, it is the beginning. It gets deeper.
Wow, this needs to be a movie.
Girl, you need to stop. That's what my
I'm
writing
putting it
coach
out
said.
there in the atmosphere.
Yes, let's do a movie.
I'll be one
Let's
of the
do a movie.
characters for you.
All right. Oh, I know you can do the part. I know you can do the part. I'm so, yeah, a few people have suggested that they're going to, one lady even suggested she get the person to write me a script.
Oh,
And then we just start, I don't know. I don't know. I think this is a new pathway for me in my latter years. I think it really is a new pathway for me. I've been writing, but I've never really, I make up songs and write, and
yeah.
I just I do that. That's just me. But I act. I do a lot of things. But you're the third person that has suggested this.
Confirmation. Come on.
Okay.
That's confirmation.
We can do it. We can do it. I'm
That's
not afraid.
confirmation.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I don't try to hide anything. Um, I know I'm not perfect, and I have made a lot of mistakes, girl. I have made a lot of mistakes, but that's what I want to share. Hopefully, you can learn from my mistake. But you know, Mama said, here I go back to that. Mama said, bought sense is better than borrowed sense.
Yeah.
Mama said, and I end up with one major Mama said at the end of this book. Mama said, and I say, yeah, she was right. She was right. And
Oh,
you'll have to get to the end of the book to see what Mama said.
oh my goodness. Yeah,
That was
I
good.
love how you look, I'm telling you, I did already scanned it too. And I love
Uh-huh.
how you do the little cliffhanger there. How you bring up the guy and then you
Yeah.
go, wait, what you say? Uh right here. You give us this little in my next book, I will share. You
What
know, and
Mama
so
said.
yeah, yeah. So where can people purchase your book?
Well, if you want an autographed copy, you have to come through me.
Oh,
But the copies are in Barnes and Nobles. You
oh,
can get it on Amazon. All of the venues out there, you can get this book. But if you want me to say something special to you
yeah.
and put my name in here, you can order it from me.
Thank
And
you for mine.
ah, I wrote that in there for you. That's your special message, girl.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So you can go, if you have Cash App, you can go to WMT, my initials, Wanda M. Thomas, WMT book, BOOK 1, because it's the first book, WMT BOOK 1. If you have a Zoom account where money comes directly out of your account, a Zelle account, I'm sorry, I said Zoom. See how I am?
Yeah.
Zelle is my email address,
Okay.
Wanda M. Thomas with a 0 behind it at gmail.com. So just remember my name, Wanda M. Thomas, but put a 0 behind it and at gmail.com. So you can order it that way and you can contact me that way. But Cash App is WMT Book 1.
I'll put a link in this
Yeah.
video
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
Hey, if failure wasn't an option for you, what would be a dream health goal that you would have? Would it be getting up and down off the ground playing with your grandkids? Would it be chasing your kiddos on a bicycle and keeping up with them? Would it be getting up and down the stairs without huffing and puffing? Would it be, I don't know, wearing shorts in the summertime or a bathing suit, feeling totally confident and energetic and strong in your body and your mind? Yes, okay. I've seen that again and again and again with thousands of people the 8 years I've been a health coach. I've been a chiropractor for 34 years and I've never seen anything so effective as this. My husband and I did it 8 years ago and had phenomenal results. And this is not a diet. Don't diet. Diets don't work. I'll tell you what, most people gain the weight back and then some. And what's the point of that? That's just craziness. Try something different. Try something that works. Try something that's clinically proven. And it's easy, it's simple, there's no hunger, there's no extreme exercising. And for most people, it's cost neutral. And some people actually say they save money on the program. You get a free health coach with it, a vibrant community, an amazing transformational habits of health system that's determining how you can live a lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. So I invite you to join me on a health assessment. We can discover which of the programs could be a fit for you. And then you know what? You may reach your goals way faster than you think. And guess what else? You may just exceed them. I look forward to working with you.
I love the title. How did you come up with the title?
I kept getting the image of myself sitting on the steps crying.
Mm.
And we had a college student that's good in art. We gave her the concept. She even researched the clothes that would have been worn back in that time and put that little dress on me.
Oh, wow.
And in the summertime, I grew up in Texas, and every time it got hot, we took our shoes off.
Mm-hmm.
And so this little girl is barefoot with her little dress on. And she's sitting, and there are little tears coming out of her eyes. And that's the front porch. I used to sit on the steps and cry.
Wow. Did you put that in the book about the research of the clothes and everything? That's why we
No.
need the movie. I need the movie.
Yeah, we need the movie. Yeah. Because she researched the type of clothes, and she gave me 2 or 3 dresses to choose from. And I did, we wore dresses basically back in that day.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what's funny though? I like reading first because I like to do my own visualization, especially when you start talking about the chicken.
Oh, girl, stop.
I was like, I had my own visual, but I know it would be nice to see that in the movie too.
Well, I think I'm going to name my next book, The Test Crash Dummy.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to ask you, you said that was book 1. So yeah, tell us about what you have coming up.
Book 2, the Test Crash Dummy is the card that they use with the dummy inside to crash it into things and drop things on it to see what they need to do to protect you in this car. It's called a Test Crash Dummy. And whatever this dummy can withstand in this car as it's going through all this tests, then that's how they know to fine tune the car. So I felt like I was a test crash dummy in relationships to tell y'all what not to do. My son said, well, Mama, maybe you can't tell them what to do. I said, well, if I can't tell them what to do, I sure can't tell them what not to do. What does not work? I tell you, no, that's not going to work. But my thing is, I never tell couples to break up. If you hear somebody say, I told a woman to leave her husband or her boyfriend or her significant other, that's a lie. I don't do that. Yeah. And I don't tell you to stay because that's the decision you have to make. So you say, if you hear somebody say, Wanda told me to leave or Wanda told me to stay, they are lying because I do not give that kind of advice. Right. But the advice that I give you is, if you stay, it's going to be issues. If you go, it's going to be issues. So you got to make up in your mind if you want to stay with the issues or if you want to go with the issues. But whichever decision you make, I'll walk with you through it.
There you go.
Because it's going to be tough either way. Yeah. But that decision is way too much for me to make. But one thing I do know, when you get tired, you make a decision.
Yeah, you sure. You
so
sure
I was the test crash.
Done that.
Yep. So I was the test crash dummy for all of you that need to know how to mess up a relationship.
So you know how to mess up. I don't know, man. What if yours should be like a bunch of episodes? Yeah. Okay. So how many books can we expect from you, Ms. Wanda?
5.
Oh, really?
5. Yes.
And what is the next one?
5 is the number of grace.
Okay.
And I hope to have the other one finished. And I'll tell you personally why the second ones are not finished. I won't tell it all over the air. Yeah. But the second one would have been finished by now. So I hope that by the end of the summer, I will have the second book finished. And I will tell you this much. As it goes on, I will tell the reason why I recognized I had to go through the things that I went through. And then in one book, I will tell the lessons learned, the ministry gained, and the ministry that I now operate in, the ministry of forgiveness.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be.
So the next book going to be juicy.
Woo!
Girl, it's going to be juicy. Now that's the one I may not be able to use real names.
Because that's what I was saying. I was like, oh my goodness.
No, all the people that I used in this book, I got their permission to do so.
Yeah. I know.
Because when this becomes a movie, Sonny would be coming back looking for his money.
Yeah.
But I'm protected. I am protected.
Oh
And
yeah, oh yeah. Maybe
yeah,
me and my brother will make one of the books. I might be in book 5.
yeah, yeah. You will more than likely be in book 5 because I gotta,
Yeah,
bring it all
you gotta
together
bring
and
it up.
close it
Yeah,
out.
bring it all home.
Bring it on to the house, girl. Bring it on to the house. But you will see when I write the last story why, you know, uh,
Okay.
all of the things happen. I learned so many lessons along the way, and some I learned, some I didn't learn. I just knew,
We're still learning. We're still
Yeah,
learning.
we'll
Yeah.
forever learn. We'll
Oh,
forever learn. But I'm on the mama said trip. I really am.
I'm telling you, we gotta make something out of that.
And yeah, and mama
If you do
said,
a book on Mama Said, make sure you
yeah,
let me know.
okay.
Because
And
mine right now is my conversations with my mom. It's
uh-huh.
not so much just, but I was just thinking we could just do a little small book with just
Yeah,
Mama Says.
just saying, yeah,
Yeah,
just saying. But
yeah.
one saying that I'm really listening to now, Mama said, everybody's got to get their own testimony.
Ooh,
You
yeah,
know that old song we used to sing in church, believe I testify, you can't tell it like I can,
yeah.
and that's true. I have tried so hard to stop people from making mistakes. I've tried to tell them what would be good and don't do this. And girl, they turn a deaf ear because they got to get their own testimony. They got to be able to go through and say, oh, mama said that was going to happen and it did happen. So I'm good. I am really good. I learned that once I tell it to you, which used to be really hard for me, when I tell you, then if you can't receive it or you don't accept it, I have done what I'm supposed to do because I'm not responsible for the outcome of what God gives me to tell you. I'm not responsible for the outcome, but I am responsible for telling you
Yeah,
and letting you know
yeah,
that
yeah.
this would be better or this is not good. But if you don't want to listen, I'm not going to cry about it because you're the one going to cry when you don't
But you
take
know
it.
what? If God gave it to you to tell, the funny thing that I found, I used to be a supervisor. I worked for the state for over
Mm-hmm.
25 years. I was a supervisor. And those people gave me such a hard time, right?
I know. Mm-hmm. I
And
know.
but the funny thing is, every time one of the people would leave, guess what they said at the luncheon? Oh my goodness, they just sing my praises and how much I had
Oh,
taught
yeah.
them.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then they would,
Oh,
yeah, quote things I had said, and it would just make me tear up because I was like, oh
yeah.
my
I
God,
know.
they
You were
actually,
listening. You
yeah,
were
they were
listening.
listening. Yeah.
You were listening. Yeah. That's the thing. If you listen, you'll avoid a lot of mistakes, but
So they
everybody got to get
listening,
their own testimony.
they listening to you because I
They
know
hear.
you got a lot of wisdom. So
Mm,
they're listening. They're just not. It's not. It don't hit home with everybody right
mm-mm.
away. Oh, you know that's one of the things. Oh wait, now my grandma said.
All right, what your grandma say, girl? What
She
your
said.
grandma say?
Let me tell you what grandma said. Grandma said you don't need to nag your husband. He heard you the first time.
The first time, yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yep.
Yes, he did. Mm-hmm.
And I had, and that was a tip when I got married. You
Mm,
know, I had to.
hmm.
I was like, oh, okay.
I used to be a screamer. I used to scream and yell and fuss. And one day my husband told me, said, nobody really paying any attention to you with all that noise. And I come to think about it, people turn you on. You
Yeah,
turned on. Mm-mm. They
yeah.
hear you when you say it, but we think they didn't hear. So we start escalating and going through these changes and running our blood pressure up for no reason.
What you say? I know.
Run your
It's
blood
so
pressure up.
funny. When I ask my husband to do something, it's funny. And it's so true. I'll think about what she said. I'll go get ready to ask him again or to tell him again. And
And you stop.
yeah, and I'll stop. And then it may take him a couple days or whatever, but he heard me.
Yeah, yeah. They eventually get it, I guess. They eventually
Yeah,
get it.
yeah.
But see, I come from raising 4 sons. And if I said, wow, the garbage really needs to be taken out, it would just sit there. I barked out orders, and it's been kind of hard for me to get away from that. And I told my husband one time, I said, I raised 4 boys. He said, yeah, you raised 4 boys, but I'm the husband. I'm like, okay, gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
To shut it down, I've learned that art too, in shutting down. If I see something's going to escalate and go out of hand, I just shut down. And I can stand there and look at you like you're crazy, and girl, my mind be somewhere else because I'm not engaging in all that food. I can't. Well, first of all, I'm too old for it now. There was a time when I had to get the last word, and we come from a family of women, girl, that you'll see in the book, girl. My family,
I know. I love the family dynamic, man. It's so funny. Everybody got the same characters. They just different names.
Don't they? Don't they? It's amazing.
Yes.
They have the same characteristics
Yeah.
in every family.
Yep.
You got one that is just yours. You got one you don't know where he came from. Whose child is this? Well, he becomes daddy's child.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my goodness.
Gosh.
Well, man, I can sit here and talk to you all day.
I've enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. Do you have anything else that you would like to share before we wrap up?
Get the book.
Ooh.
That's what I want to share. Get the book. Hopefully you will see yourself in it. I have really prayed over this book that it will be a help to people when they see what really went on in my life. I really want this book to be a blessing, not so much of, me just saying a bunch of stuff, but I really want people to see and gain something. If it's just one thing, I'm good. I'm happy. I appreciate you and the compliments you give me and the opportunity that you have really given me to come on and talk. And we had fun. I had fun. Yeah. Laughter doeth good like a medicine, and I love to laugh. Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much, Wanda, for talking to me today. And I am excited about your new book, When Girls Cry. And I can't wait to see what you have coming up next.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you for the time. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, this concludes episode 17 of Living. There's glory in your story. And I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Wanda. Thank you so much, Wanda. I enjoyed talking to you. You are a lot of fun. And I can't wait to get your next book. And I am really excited about your new book, When Girls Cry. All right, you guys, support Wanda. And I will leave her information in this video. All right, I will see you next time on Living. Have a blessed day and a blessed rest of the week. And I'll see you back here. Bye-bye.